Hello everyone, thanks for tuning in to today's fourth and final video. We're going to have a look at weather the next 10 to 14 days for today's final video. Day 10 will take us to the 29th of November and we'll be able to extend out beyond that. We have GFS and ECM Ensembles, going to say right around a couple of weeks. I'll have a look at CFS-E2 at the end of the video for December. And I shall get on with that for you very shortly. Just to say that the first video release today was our 7 AM upload. We've also released the 7th Christmas update. If that wasn't enough, January Friday as well. But a busy old day at GavsWeatherVids today. So please check out all the videos, like, share, subscribe. Thank you so much everybody for doing that. We will be live streaming after 10 o'clock tonight. And we'll be live streaming the pub run, the GFS 18 said. And that'll be starting probably around 20 past 10. Something like that, I would have thought. Right, okay, thank you so much, everybody, for tuning in. Right, just going to say thank you to our latest patron. So this is GavsWeatherVids' Patreon page. I haven't given this a plug for a little while, but there we go. The Patreon page is just there, and the link to the GavsWeatherVids' Patreon page is in the description with the video. So, I got to say thank you so much to John Wellborn. Thank you so much to John for becoming a patron for GavsWeatherVids. It's absolutely incredible. Thank you so much, my friend, for doing that. John left a lovely message, you know, saying that he's been watching videos during the pandemic and during the lockdown, and you know, would really help with getting through the lockdown and whatnot. And he wanted to become a patron. Say thank you. So thank you so much to John Wellborn, my good friend John, for doing that for GavsWeatherVids. That's absolutely incredible. Thank you so much, my friend. If you'd like to become a patron for GavsWeatherVids, all you need to do is come to the GavsWeatherVids Patreon page. That's it, just there. As I say, you can find the link in the description with all of the videos, and that's how you become a patron. We do also have the GavsWeatherVids PayPal page as well, so if you'd like to send a donation to GavsWeatherVids through PayPal. I haven't done this for a little while, so I'm a little bit rusty. If you'd like to send a donation through PayPal, then that's how you can do that. Again, the link is in the description with all of the videos, or the link is in the description with all of the videos. I'm not doing very well with this, am I? So thank you so much to all of our PayPal donors. You know, that can be however much you want to donate. And then, of course, there is also YouTube channel membership as well. So if you'd like to become a channel member, we've got over 60 channel members. It's incredible. If you'd like to become a channel member for GavsWeatherVids, you can click the join button just there on the GavsWeatherVids YouTube homepage. You can find that on mobile through the YouTube app as well. So click the join button. It will take you to another page where you see what benefits you get for becoming a channel member, and sign up on that page as well. Yeah, thank you so much for all of the support to all of you. The way that you support GavsWeatherVids and myself is unbelievable. It's incredible. Been another amazing year of growth, and we'll talk about this probably on the video that we do on New Year's Eve, I would have thought, to go over what's happened with the channel over the past year. Has been another incredible year of growth, though. So, and just thank you to all of you for all of the support over all of the past year. 2021 been another amazing year for GavsWeatherVids. So thank you so much. And a special thank you to John Wellborn for becoming a patron for GavsWeatherVids. That's unbelievable. Thank you so much, my friend. Right, okay, so let's start then, shall we? We're going to begin with central temperature. The CT is currently standing at 9.3. We're now over 2 degrees above average. Exceptionally mild November. This has turned into been a really warm autumn. Look at September at 15.9, October at 12.1. You know, very, very substantially above average, and it goes on into November as well, where we've been over 2 degrees above average. So long ago since we had a cold autumn, isn't it? And this is another one. This is another autumn that is significantly warmer than average. So that's provisional up to yesterday, to the 18th of November. Now that's it's probably going to tick up a little bit more for today. I reckon probably 9.5 is about as high as this is going to get, but it will start to fall away from the second half of the weekend onwards. The final week to 10 days of November looking colder than, you know, the first to 20 days. So that will drop. I've got a feeling, I haven't got an estimate for where that's going to land yet, but I've got a feeling it'll probably be somewhere in maybe below 8. 8s, I think that might land out, or perhaps upper 7s, something like that. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see where that finishes up. It'll probably still be above average, even with the cold weather we've got coming up next week, though. These are the GFS upper air temperature and precipitation ensembles for the next couple of weeks. So we're looking at Great Malvern today. This is a suggested location for this part of the video. The red line is the 30-year upper air temperature average for Great Malvern. We remain very significantly above average with the upper air temperatures right now, but they are going to come down. It's about as high as they're going to get, and the trend is pretty much from now onwards actually going to be downhill, but particularly so as we get into second half weekend early next week, where we've gone colder than average. And then you see dates on bottom of the chart, generally saying cold and average and the rest of November into the beginning of December. Towards the end of the ensemble graph gets us further on into first week of December. There's a bit of a lift up in the upper air temperatures taking place after a cold opening to December. The first week of the month will probably see a recovery in the temperature begin to take place. It'll probably start going milder once again. But at least like a week, maybe 10 days of below average temperatures coming up. Also signs that it's turning more unsettled as well. So very dry over the next week or so. Been exceptionally dry November so far. And that goes on for the next week or so as well. Late on in November and into December, then it looks a little bit more unsettled as it's quite cold. There might be some sleet and snow potential in with that as well. But you know, just generally getting a little bit more unsettled by month then perhaps. Let's have a look at Snow Row. So there we go, this is Snow Row for Great Malvern. You can see, but it's relatively limited, really, for the Snow Row for Great Malvern. There is a little bit of potential there around the 25th to the 28th of November. I think that's a little bit reduced over the past couple of days. We've had slightly greater snow potential for these last days of November. But no snow potential over the next few days, of course, next week. You know, it's going to be mainly dry. That's the reason for that. And then after that, it's getting into the early part of December again. Not much snow potential, but there is a little bit there around the 26th, 27th, or 28th of November. Temperature anomalies from the 19th, 27th of November, looking a little bit cooler than average now. These are coming down day by day. Nothing to get overly alarmed about, but going slightly below average, which is something we haven't seen very often over the past few months. Have had a long run of warm weather, you know, over several months now. So yeah, a little bit cooler, a little bit different to what we've had, but not particularly cold. Precipitation anomalies from 19th to 27th of November, drier than average. So staying dry, but going a little bit cooler is the basic upshot. Latest info map from earthlongskool.net shows that it is still very mild, though, today, drawing in the wind from the west and from the southwest as well. So this is how the UK Met Euro is looking for midnight on Monday. So the weekend is going to see a cool down. The first push of cooler, colder air will be coming in over the weekend as planned. So by midnight on Monday, the high pressure is out to west of Ireland, and we're pulling in quite a cold north or northeasterly wind. High pressure slips in over the country early next week. That will bring a risk of overnight frost. And then the middle of next week takes that high pressure out into the Atlantic and moves it up towards Greenland. So start to pull down a colder northerly wind as we go into the second half of next week via that mid-Atlantic ridge, a trough of low pressure moving in Scandinavia, following the isobars back. The northerly is going a long way north, you know, the air's originating a long way north and pushing southwards as well. It's a little bit to our west, but nevertheless, I think it'll still be quite cold through the middle of the second half next week. As far as we get to with the UK Met, which gets us midnight on Friday. Then the high pressure just slipping southwards a little bit. Winds are still cold, though, and in from a north or northeasterly direction. And this area of low pressure between Greenland and Iceland, that's probably going to start moving in that direction, bringing... we'll have a warm set associated with it, so initially temperatures will probably lift up at the end of next week, and then it'll probably turn the wind back into the north as it clears the way into the North Sea. This is how the GFS midnight run is looking. So again, high pressure is out to our west on Monday, and we're pulling in most quite cold north or northeasterly winds. into Tuesday. High pressure right over top of the country, bringing lots of dry weather. Will be overnight frost. Then the high pressure pushes out into the middle of the Atlantic through the middle of next week. Down come these colder northerly winds. Not as much of a northerly with the GFS. It has had a big wobble on this northerly. The GFS has really wobbled over the last 24 hours or so with this northerly. So not as much of a northerly on the GFS midnight run. Do still bring some colder air in from the north, but it is very restricted, I think, to more northern areas. And then this area of low pressure here develops around Iceland, and that starts plunging south. There's a big warm sector in with that. So we never really get the cold northerly down into the south until, like, that low pressure gets out of the way, which it does eventually. By the time you get through to Sunday, 28th of November, low pressure in the North Sea, and then we're all going into that cold, cold push of northerly winds. But it's definitely delayed the northerly push and backed away from, the Greenland blocking, etc., etc. But it was showing a couple of days ago. Nevertheless, eventually we do go into those cold northerlies. So, as we get to day 10, we're looking cold. Winds in from the north and from the northeast with low pressure to our east, high pressure to the west. Some of these northerly winds will be driving in wintry showers. Very quickly, by time we get through to the beginning of December, we're pulling in milder air from the west-southwest again, though. So the midnight run quickly returns us back to mild westerly winds. And as we run on into the first week of December, we actually go a little bit stormy with quite a deep area of low pressure to north of Scotland, severe gale force winds, but still looking pretty mild. High pressure is back in over Spain, low pressure to the north of Scotland, so we're still driving in wind from the Atlantic. Will that, have another go at pulling in more northerly winds after that? I wonder. It's possible it might do, depend on whether this high over Spain starts pushing back out into the Atlantic again or not. This hour's GFS 6Z is looking. So once again, we've got high pressure to west of Ireland on Monday, bringing in that cooler northeast wind. The high pressure is right over top of the country on Tuesday. High pressure pulls out into the middle of the Atlantic through into Wednesday, and we drop in this sort of northeasterly. It's moderated a lot, that northerly, on what the GFS was showing a few days ago. Reason being that high pressure not getting as far north. So you see, this is 6 a.m. on Thursday. Now, a few days ago, that ridge was going up to Greenland and centering like there, which allows the big northerly to push down west side of Europe. Now, that high pressure is being stopped from going to Greenland by these little spoiler lows. They're just little features, not really low pressure areas actually, they're just like little shortwave type things, but are just preventing that high pressure from going further north. And so with high pressure there, just to our west-northwest, it means that yes, we are putting in something a little bit colder from the north and from the northeast, but not a real northerly blast by any means through second half of next week. However, eventually the GFS 6Z, as the midnight GFS run does get there, and so that low pressure goes pushing off in towards Norway, and that does finally allow the high pressure to properly ridge up through the North Atlantic towards Greenland, and you can see the difference. We then start to pull in air that is originating from the northern latitudes, from the Arctic. So eventually the 6Z gets there, and we go into this very cold northerly wind over the final weekend of November. That's going to be the 27th, 28th of November. We're into a proper northerly blast, with the air again originating a very long way north, following the isobars back. It goes back to the Arctic, really, and plunges down west side of Europe. And I think that's probably a better northerly, actually, on the 6Z compared to the midnight blast. It could be that the GFS is starting to come back towards this northerly blast through the closing days of November. That's day 10, 29th of November. Again, we're properly in that northerly. I think it's a little bit more extended as well, this northerly with the 6Z compared to the midnight run. So if you want cold weather, the 6Z is a little bit better. Carries it on, actually, through to month's end. And it gets this little area of low pressure developing here around Iceland. And that actually slips southwards then within that cold northerly wind. This is kind of wind that could bring a little bit of snow some parts of the country particularly in the west actually, moving in on that cold northerly as we go to the closing days of November. That low eventually finished up over northern parts of France, and we're still cold even then on the final day of the month, still bringing wind from the north-northeast. So the 6th is definitely colder and more extended with the cold weather compared to the midnight GFS run. Cold start to December with winds remaining in from a north and northeast direction. And then eventually same idea though, as we go further on through the first week of December, things do start to get a little bit milder as winds back round into the west. That's how we finish up with the GFS 6Z on Sunday the 5th of December. Low pressure to north Scotland, high pressure to west of Portugal. We're back into Atlantic winds, but it's possible that that could have another go at pulling in some colder, another cold northerly shot perhaps just beyond that day, 5th of November. Let's have a look at the precipitation type forecast based on that GFS 6Z run. See what happens with snow potential. So, of course, we've got cold front coming southwards over weekend. That's introducing colder air with showers turning wintry in the north through the second half of the weekend. A little bit of snow to come for high ground in Scotland. Otherwise, lots of dry weather through the early part of next week as high pressure is in control of the weather. And then we get through to the end of next week and we bring another weather system into the north. That brings rain, sleet and snow in towards Scotland. And getting to the second half of next week. You see, the emphasis is still on very dry weather. This can be a really dry December. In fact, November. In fact, it is possible this might be the driest November on record. Particularly for England and Wales. Things start getting a little bit colder towards the end of next week, so showers turning readily wintry across Scotland through the end of next week. And then into the weekend of the 27th, 28th of November, the cold air begins to dig further and further south, so those showers turning more and more wintry with time. So that's into Sunday, and by then showers running down the east coast and down west coast are turning readily wintry. So it does eventually get into those cold northern winds, just a little bit delayed compared to a couple of days ago. We're coming into the closing days of the month now. We've got that feature coming in from from Iceland. So that brings more general snow to western areas. Quite interesting. That's a bit of a snow event showing up there on the last day of the month, 30th of November. Parts of Northern Ireland, Northwest England, Wales, South West England. Don't take that area too literally, but look at that big old snow event there for Wales, parts of the West Midlands as well, and the South West perhaps. So that's quite interesting, that little feature. I thought there would be snow associated with that, and indeed there is. That's the first sort of significant snow event of the season. Probably won't verify, but, you know, interesting to know, anyway. Beyond that, we start to turn things milder, of course. Winds back into the west, and so through the first week of December, we go back much more towards rain compared to snow. If you enjoyed this video, please just smash the like button. Make sure to subscribe to our channel. Thank you so much for doing that. We only need to put on around 25 subscribers now to get to 12.6k. So the subs are moving quite quickly at the moment. Please give us a sub and tell your friends and family to subscribe as well. If we can get ourselves to 13,000 subscribers, which I think is going to be a big ask now to do that this year. But if we could do it before Christmas, we'll be giving away an Amazon voucher for Christmas. But I don't think we're going to be able to do that. But anyway, we'll get to 13,000 subscribers in January, probably, hopefully. Right, okay, so please give us a sub. Thank you so much. Right, GM is looking like this. High pressure is out to west. Winds coming in from the northeast. There'll be quite cold winds as well over the second half weekend into early next week. The high pressure pulling out into the Atlantic and going northwards. And so this is Thursday. Now, this is a very different. The GM is different compared to the GFS. It's not developing all of those little spoiler shortwaves. And so by as early as Thursday, the GM still has us in the northerly. That is what we were seeing, you know, with the GFS, for example, a couple of days ago. The GM is still quite solid on that. So we might go into those cold northerly winds as early as Thursday. That's a proper northerly there with the GM on Thursday, and that carries on then into Friday as well. See much more of a general mid-Atlantic ridge, none of those little spoiler shortwaves, and winds just coming in from a cold northerly into the second half of next week. That carries on into the weekend as well, 27th, 28th of November. So bring down those cold northerly winds. So that's a colder and more wintry run from the GM compared to GFS output. Eventually, by day 10, high pressure mid-Atlantic ridge is beginning to slip southwards and probably hinting at winds are going to go back into west for the beginning of December, which will be a milder wind direction. But the GM's actually better for the northerly compared to the GFS output, brings it in a lot earlier. The ECM looks like that. Again, high pressure just out to our west on Monday. Around that, we bring in these cold northeasterly winds, or colder northeasterly winds. High pressure dominates early next week, and the high pressure pushes northwards. Go through to Thursday, down comes this northerly. The ECM is a little bit better with that initial northerly push Wednesday into Thursday as well, but it does have a little bit more out to our west. Let's head up towards day 10. That's how we look. So again, we have that low diving in from Iceland, going from Iceland towards the North Sea. Renews the northerly for northern and western areas. And day 10 to 29th of November, we're still in those cold northerly winds. So definitely a colder final week to 10 days of November. That is still on course. The devil is in the detail as to how quickly those northerly winds get in. Excuse me, how cold they are and how long they last. But definitely, the final week to 10 days of November will be a lot colder compared to what we've had through this autumn so far. This is a precipitation forecast based on that ECM run from Meteo.com. Lots of dry weather still to come, of course. In the south, there will be a little bit of rain in the north over the weekend as that cold front pushes southwards. And then some wintry showers in the north and the northeast. But still, the emphasis is on very dry weather into the early part of next week. And then moving on into the final days of the month, we find that it turns colder with that northerly wind setting in. Of course, end of next week, that brings snow showers to the north and around these western and eastern coasts as well. A little bit less cold around the 26th of November. That's around a week's time. Low pressure coming in brings some rain to the south. Still kind of the snow, though, in the north. And then we go back into those northerly winds, and they bring the snow showers quite a long way southwards as we go into the final days of the month. That is day 10, as we get to, which is the 28th of November, of course. Actually, looking at that, I wonder whether that is yesterday's ECM, right? I don't think that's updated, actually, from Meteo.com, so I'm not sure what's happened there. Let's refresh the page. I don't know. So this is the latest. This is the 19th. Okay, so that was yesterday. Right, let's do it again, then. Let's see what happens with the precipitation forecast based on that ECM run from Meteo.com, if we can. Well, I'm going to be able to do that. I don't know if the website's working. I think some... there we go. Is it going to work? There you go. Right, okay, so let's do that again, then. No, it's still showing me 18. No, we can't do that, so we get out of that very quickly. Sorry, everybody. There's some sort of problem at Meteo.com. Right, we'll show you the options. Instead of that, and forget that happened, we'll show you the options on the table within the ECM Ensembles today for day 10, which will get us to the 29th of November. We have 17 members of the ECM Ensembles, including the control and the operation run with low pressure to the east, high pressure to the west, and that we bring in winds from a northerly point of view. So cold with northerly winds at day 10 with that. 15, again, low pressure over to the east of the country, high pressure out to west and to the northwest. Again, winds in from the north or northeast. That's going to be cold as well. 11 with low pressure to our east and southeast, high pressure to our west, but just allowing a little bit more of a slightly less cold northwesterly in, so that's turning a bit milder. And then 8 down here, 8 members of the ECM Ensemble still with low pressure to our east and high pressure to our west. But again, that's starting to modify things a little bit and pull something slightly more slightly less cold in from the Atlantic. Generally, most of the options still favouring like northerly winds, though, around day 10. In 2 weeks' time, these are the options that we've got. This will get us to the 4th of December. Have 20 members of the ECM Ensembles with high pressure just to our west-southwest, low pressure to our north. That's going to be mainly dry, but will be milder as winds are coming in off the Atlantic. 17, looking quite interesting, with high pressure ridging from the southwest to the northeast, but could be putting in quite a cold northeasterly wind, and that does include the control run as well, so that's keeping things cold. Those options are keeping things cold into early December. And then we have 14 just here with high pressure to the south, low pressure to the north, and that's backing the wind into the west. So there's a possibility we might keep things cold through the first week of December, but the majority option, if you put 14 there together with a 20 there, the majority option, it is quite a strong majority actually in favour of turning things milder early on in December. GFS and ECM finally, these are 5, and this is 700 millibar height anomaly for December. This is how it's currently looking today. Looking very anticyclonic actually, with high pressure right in over top of the UK. And much of Western Europe actually, so very anticyclonic dry December being predicted there. The temperature anomaly isn't particularly warm though, it's not particularly cold either, it's just probably quite close to average. There will be the chance of frost and fog with that area of high pressure. Notice though it is going for a very cold December across eastern and southeastern parts of Europe. So those of you watching in southeast Europe, Balkans for example, we do have quite a few people tuning in from the Balkans, from Romania, you know, Greece even. That is quite a cold looking month for December for those of you down there in the eastern, southeastern part of Europe. Conversely, Scandinavia looks quite mild, and that's because we're bringing in westerly winds through there. So mild for Scandinavia, cold for eastern and southeastern parts of Europe. Could this December be one of those months where we see the snow piling up in Athens again? I know that drives so many people absolutely crazy when that happens, but it does happen a lot, and maybe this will be one of those months where London is snow-free and Athens is buried in snow. We'll see. And precipitation-wise, no particular signal, but of course with high pressure right over top of the UK, you'd expect a largely drier than average month. Right, we're done then. So if you enjoy this video, please smash the like button. Make sure you subscribe to our channel. Thank you so much for doing that. Drop a comment, let us know what you think about this and all of our videos. And don't forget to tell your friends and family to subscribe as well. If you do sub, you're going to be able to see future weather content, including, let's not forget, future winter updates, future Christmas updates, and future live streams. And that brings me nicely on to what's coming up tonight. So at 10 o'clock, around 10:20, I think, we'll be live streaming the GFS 18Z, aka the pub run. So I shall see you live for that. Just so you're coming up over the weekend, tomorrow, we're going to start off at 7 AM upload. We're going to have the ECM, we have 42-day forecast as well as weekend forecast, and 10 to 14 day. And then on Sunday, we're going to have part 1 of the 12th Winter 2021-2022 update. We're live streaming, Sunday live stream, so we're going to do some long range. That'll be coming up at 6 PM. And at some point through Sunday, we'll have the 8th Christmas update as well. So lots going on the channel over the weekend. Keep checking back for more, but I shall see you live, hopefully tonight, after 10 o'clock. For this one though, that's all for now, and thanks for watching.